Yeah, just to give you a little bit of background on it.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
For some reason, I think I've heard about it before.
My big question to you is, could the governor stop it?
Oh, yeah, that's the type of stuff they do. All the time. Ron, anything he sees for Chicago, no. So, Ron has had a bill to change the municipal and laborers' pensions.
Right. He's very happy, by the way, with the budget that got passed.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, he thanks you and he thanks John.
Yeah, yeah. And one reason is that pension bill he wanted, we put into what we call a BIMP bill, which means Budget Implementation Bill.
Mhm.
It's a big omnibus bill, 300-page
Mhm.
bill. And the general rule is, well, if you're implementing the budget, then you can get in that bill.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we just put this thing in for the city. It really wasn't implementing the budget. It's in there. And that's where the governor was overridden. So it's law. Ron got what he wanted. He didn't do any deals with. This is where he was trying to do a deal. That he helped him on the Thompson Center if Ron would sign the bill.
And he got it anyway.
Got it anyhow. Yeah, he's in there.
Yeah, he's very happy. He's very happy. We have our pre-council meetings, with Ed and Patrick and Michelle and Carrie and some of the staff, and he was like ecstatic.
This parking lot, it's at Cermak and...
It's on Cermak, Wentworth. The CTA runs on top of it,
Right.
and it goes from Cermak all the way down to almost 18th Street. It narrows down. It's like a little triangle. Right now, it is leased to a not-for-profit that's called the Chinese Parking Lot Association. And they do very well. They only charge like $2 parking if you get it validated by the local restaurants and businesses. But they make like $1 million a year. But that money goes into helping the Chinese community with security, with cameras, with all kinds of things. And if they actually get this done through a developer, they would maintain some sort of ownership like the parking lot, very similar to what Andy was talking about here. But nothing can happen really until the transfer happens. They have been talking to DPD, and they've looked at, and it's really not a hard developer yet. Ray Chin is interested. He's trying to bring some people in. But the main thing that we've done over the past year, Mike, is that we've trying to process it with the community, because like everywhere else in the city, parking is like gold. He says, well, if you develop, are you going to create 1,000 more parking? He says, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to increase it a little bit, but,
So today, the state owns the land,
Yes, and leases it to a not-for-profit entity.
called the Chinese Parking Lot Association.
Yeah, I think that's the name, but I'll get you the exact
And the
name.
proposal is that the state would...
Transfer it to the city. I think that the city would buy it from the
Yeah,
state.
yeah.
And then there would be some sort of an RFP for a developer to bid on it. But it's like it's ready to cook. It's all been set up. And I'll just let you know this. In the last election, it became a political football. Some of the people that there was a guy that was interested to be the developer, but he couldn't come up with the money. A guy named Sam Ma. You might have heard of him, Sam Ma. And he was closely allied with Eddie's son, Alex. So he had a meeting where he said, this is not going to be transferred unless Sam Ma gets it. and some other people were there, and I wasn't there, but I said, you can't do that. You can't do that.
All right, so if the city gets the title to the land, they'd put out an RFP, and a new person would replace the Chinese Parking Lot Association.
No, the Chinese parking lot will still have an agreement with whoever that developer is to continue to be this, maintain the, let's say it's 400 parking spaces. They would continue to have that. Very similar to what Andy was explaining.
And then the developer would build a building?
Yeah.
Okay, fine, I got it. Okay, sure. And do you think that there's been discussions between the state and the city?
Yes, yes, there has been.
And do you think it's the Department of Transportation?
Yes. Ayakula, remember him?
Yeah.
He is a consultant on this because I think he worked for the city and for the state.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and Bill Banks' law firm is handling it right now
For the city or the state?
for the potential developers. Bill Banks was handling this item too, but then they got frustrated with him and they went with Reifman's old law firm.
Yeah, yeah. Which does a lot of zoning work.
Yeah.
DLA. One of my daughters worked there at one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And interestingly, she works out Sangamon and Lake and Sangamon. Lake and Sangamon. Did you remember a woman named Sue Jin?
Yes.
She died.
Yeah, I know. I remember. I went to her wake.
Okay, so she had been married previously to a very successful guy. When they first did the telephone company deregulation, one of those early telephone companies, he was in charge of the company, made a lot of money. He died. She got that money. She had her own money, and she only had 2 heirs that had been provided for. And then everything is going to go into a foundation. So she owned a lot of property out there next to this location
Wow.
we're talking about, see? And the food company is still operating. And they're in like 5 or 6 locations.
They were in the airport too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're in New Jersey and Los Angeles and San Francisco. My daughter is the general counsel.
Wow.
Worked out real nice. And
Wow.
the office she goes to is right in the corner of Lake and Sangamon. So one reason I'm out there, I go out to pick her up and take her to dinner.
I go right near there because I hired Tom Bowen to be my public relations political guy, and they also organize my fundraising. So I go there a lot.
He's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I know how busy it is. I go out there to see her.
And it's like you're in another world. It's not like the business world we're familiar with. It's like everybody's in jeans and they all got computers and earphones, and there's common areas where you can eat, drink beer, you know. It's weird.
All right, let me get into this.
I appreciate it. I'll keep you posted on
See,
it.
the way things are operating nowadays, this might be something that would only happen if there's some other deal down there. And I would say to Rauner, you gotta give that over to the city.
Well, you know what? Right now, let's keep it on the QT. I wouldn't want to give Rauner a heads up on it.
I'll ask the city person.
Okay.
There's this girl, Victoria.
Okay.
You know, she represents the city down there.
Yeah.
I'll ask her, what's the status of this thing?
All
It'll
right.
just be governmental inquiry.
Good.
On the city side.
Yeah.
Not the state side.
She'll probably give you a lot more information than I've given you.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
I appreciate it, Mike. I think these guys, I had a good meeting before we got here, so.
Yeah, good. Thank
All
you.
right. All right, thank you.
Yep. Good to see you.
All right, say hello to the family.